we bought this place in 2007, and I'd been out to the Gimlet Gravels and saw that they were growing, Syrah, Cabernet, Chardonnay, a little bit of Viognier, and I didn't really look around there. I just realised that being close to the ocean, you've got the cool nights, you can grow some good aromatics here, and also with what Laurie was doing with his Pinot Gris and what Gordon was able to do with it, he makes some lovely style at Esk Valley. I thought, well, let's carry on. No point in reinventing the wheel.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
This is the Ryan Marketing Show, and you're listening to episode 10 of 100. I'm with Philip Barber from Petane Station out in sunny Eskdale. Thanks for having me, Phil.
Yeah, you're welcome, Ryan. Thanks for coming out.
Now, Phil, for those of you who don't know, is one of Hawke's Bay's newest winemakers. Tell us a little bit about what got you into wine and why you're making wine in Hawke's Bay.
Okay. I guess it all started way back in 2000 when I started working for Sales Restaurant. Kind of got me interested in it. I was in the bar making cocktails and serving wine. And being in the bar, I got to run the bar. So I got to drink all the wine and taste all the wine. Yeah, so I tried some real nice ones from Marlborough, some Gewürztraminer and all these wines that you'd never normally get to try, being just a young fella. And kind of got me interested in it. And my dad was growing grapes in Huapai at the time as well. So kind of, grew up with grapes, worked in a bar and thought, this is fun. Maybe I should go travelling and do some more bartending. So I did that.
Right, so as you travelled the world, you used bartending as a way to find your way around.
Exactly.
Was that Europe-based or
Europe,
America?
London, mainly, London, Canada. Yeah, that was bartending.
And did you go to many wineries along the way there, or was it more bartending focused?
No, it was heaps of wineries and breweries as well.
Yeah.
But all the work was always bartending. But I had a good buddy of mine, Dan, and we'd go travelling and surfing, and we'd always stop in at a few breweries and wineries along the way. So it's kind of a travelling thing. Kind of got us into it. And then I got back to New Zealand and I thought maybe I should study for a little bit. Might get a good job out of it. So I went to Gisborne and spent a year there. It was awesome at Te Rāwhiti Polytech and studied viticulture and winemaking. It was brilliant. So that was a lot of fun. And then after that, I thought, this is brilliant. I'm going to do some more travelling. So I went over to Australia, Wira, worked there for a bit. And then we went to California. And I already got interested in, not so much in different wine styles, but more in fashion, why people like certain wine styles. And what was taking off back then was Pinot Noir was going crazy. And I thought, I wonder why is Pinot Noir so awesome? So I tried a whole bunch from New Zealand. Didn't really like them too much. I thought they were a bit barnyardy, what's this all about? So I thought I'll go to California, New World, and check out their Pinot Noir. And I really loved it. I tried an awesome one from the Canaros Valley, Paul Hobbs. That was where I was working, and it was just amazing. It was quite different to what New Zealand does. Clean, fresh, not barnyardy at all. So I thought, this is pretty interesting. So that was Pinot Noir. I thought that was cool. Came back to New Zealand after that and worked at Nobelos for a year. And that was basically right back from where it all started in Huapai. So that was really cool working there with Brett Fullerton. Whole year, did the vintage and then stayed around, did all the finishing of the wine. And then after that I did a bit more travelling, went to Germany, Friesland this time, which was amazing, up in the Weinbergs.
Did you see, as you were travelling around, different wine fashions or wine trends that were in, or were they more like global trends? Like, how does a wine come in and out of fashion?
Well, I think Pinot Noir, that was fashionable. It all started, I don't know where it all started. It started in Burgundy, I suppose. But there was a movie, I can't remember what it's called, American movie, and they kind of talked about Merlot as being kind of a not such a fashionable grape. Someone said, like, if anyone orders Merlot, I'm leaving, something like that. And it all kind of snowballed from there. That's one fashion. Pinot Gris, I suppose, is a bit of an offshoot from Pinot Noir. That's become very fashionable in New Zealand and has been for the last probably 15 years. I mean, if you knew what the new fashionable wine was going to be, you'd go and plant it. Albarino might be the new thing. No one really knows. Yeah. Who's got the balls to go and plant it? Don't know.
So with your vineyard here in Estelle,
Yep.
how did you decide what grapes were going to get planted, or was it already here and set up?
Part of it was set up. We had 3 hectares on the church side, which we call Church Block, and that was planted back in 1999 by the previous owner, Laurie Kay, and it did really well. Gordon Russell loved the Pinot Gris from here because it raisins up, get a nice breeze coming across. It's all dry farmed, so we don't use irrigation. So from that, it was like, okay, we know Pinot Gris works. We also had Chardonnay planted. That worked really well. We ended up ripping that out. Vines were pretty old and a bit virused. But so we knew, Pinot Gris was brilliant. And I've always had a bit of a thing about Pinot Gris. I like the style. And so we'll plant more Pinot Gris, get some Gewurz in, get some Viognier happening. Yeah.
So really keeping to the white side of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in this little appellation of Esk Valley, I think whites are really good. You can grow reds here. My neighbour grows Merlot. Trev down the road's growing some really awesome Syrah, but he's got a hillside block. I think we're on the flats here, and I think, with the prevailing breeze and close to the ocean, cool nights, hot days, we just grow really good whites.
How does those particular varieties, like the Gewurz and the Viognier, Pinot Gris, how does that fit into the overall ecosystem of Hawke's Bay wineries, given that there was a lot here before Petane Station turned up? Like, did you go out and look at other wineries and say, what have they got or haven't got, or just went, hey, this is what I want to do?
No, I didn't really get out too much. We bought this place in 2007, and I'd been out to the Gimlet Gravels and saw that they were growing, Syrah, Cabernet, Chardonnay, a little bit of Viognier, and I didn't really look around there. I just realised that being close to the ocean, you've got the cool nights, you can grow some good aromatics here. And also with what Laurie was doing with his Pinot Gris and what Gordon was able to do with it, he makes some lovely style at Esk Valley. I thought, well, let's carry on. No point in reinventing the wheel.
So you knew the aromatics were going to grow here.
Yeah.
Made sense to have those varieties.
Yeah.
And how many years are you into? What vintage are you in now?
Well, I started in 2011 with the Petane Station, did a Sauvignon Blanc, but that wasn't completely grown here. It was only a very small amount grown here. And then 2012 came along and it was very wet and I didn't make any wine at all. 2011 was wet as well. 2012 I actually planted some grapes. 2013, we did a Pinot Gris, a Gewürztraminer and a Viognier, but it was all blended in with other grapes. So my first single vineyard wine was 2014 of our vines that I'd grown. Yeah. 2014, 2015, so 2 years. I've been going for 2 years, good say, off this block here.
So starting to get exciting, starting to get a couple under your belt.
Getting a bit more vine age, it's definitely getting bigger property, more tonnage. Every year's different, so that's the thing we do is vintage variation. We don't want it to be the same every year. We're trying to get a style. The style I'm going for is an Alsatian style. It's got a little bit of residual sugar in it. It's a rich style of Pinot Gris. Big long hang time. We don't harvest till late. Keep it out there all weather. Even if cyclone comes along, we stick it out there and then we pick it when we think it's ready. And when it's ready, it starts raising up, get nice raisins, and you just know it's time to pick.
Once you've done the work on the land, how have you gone about then getting what you're doing here into the bottle and getting people to know about it? Like, what's your go-to-market strategy for wine?
Well, pretty much hand picking the grapes, doing everything by hand, taking a lot of care and attention in the vineyard, picking it, getting it over to Askern, where I've been lucky enough to team up with Ant McKenzie, who's an awesome winemaker, and he's been helping me out a lot with the making of it all. And once it's made and we're happy with it, then I'm just going to release it. Coming up, actually, the release date for 2015 vintage is going to be Bare Knuckle Barbecue at ZB Brewery. Yeah. It's going to be a big release date for the new vintage. So it's kind of an organic way of doing it. We don't have a big strategy. We just sell what we've previous vintage. When that sells out, release the new stuff. And
is that mostly available then to Hawke's Bay bars, restaurants?
Yep. No, Hawke's Bay bars. Got some really great places who have been supporting the Petane station. Common Room, he's been one of our first customers. Paul from Indigo, Off the Tracks, the big promotion the other day. So there's like a handful of really good restaurants 3 doors up who've been taking on the Petane station brand, and they've been Old Church. They've gone through heaps of my wine, and then there's a few Gourmet Direct, and there's a few other places around. And then we're looking at going down to Wellington. Been down there a couple of times and been into a couple of new worlds. Trying to get into more bars down there, but it's been pretty difficult because you've got to be there in their face pretty much.
So do people buy as much about what the wine tastes like as they do for who's selling it to me, who is the winemaker?
I think it's taste, because I've sold all the wine pretty much myself, and I've done all the tastings with the. I don't just drop a bottle off. I go and have a tasting with them, and we talk through the wine, and their reaction is like, "This is really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not bad." So and then from there it's like, "How many cases do you want to buy?" And you usually buy a case of everything: Viognier, Gewurz, Syrah, Pinot Gris. Yeah.
So get them to taste it, and then the job's done because...
Get them to taste it. No, the job's not done. Then it's the price. Price is a big thing, and our prices are high, but they're always happy with that. Sometimes I might offer them a little discount, 5%, if I feel as though I need to. But more often than not, they realise it's quality grapes, hand-picked, dry farmed. Yeah, they go with it.
How much of that gets then trained through to their staff so that Petane station story can be preserved through to the front of house or through to the people who are actually pouring your wine by the glass or offering it on the menu? Yeah, it's a good one. Because it's a great story, right? You don't want it to get lost at the very moment a consumer starts to drink it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them how they sell it. So long as they are selling it, that's the main thing. The website's there, Twitter account, Facebook page. I don't know how many people actually get on and check it out, but as far as the staff are concerned, when I have talked to people like Off the Track, they've been saying, brilliant, easy to sell, family business, small scale. They kind of get into it.
Yeah. So that boutique thing they get kind of straight away.
I think so. Yeah.
You're not one of the big wineries that have been here for decades and decades.
Yeah, they get that. It seems to be what they're getting. Yeah. Well, they have to get it really because we've only been here for 6 years. Well, more than that. 7, 8. Well, we've been here 9 years, but
9 years.
As a brand, we've only been here since really 2013.
What was it like in those early days when you're making you're tending to the vines?
Oh, mate,
early days. There is no product.
It was great.
Was it easier?
It was easier because you put in all the hard work because you want to make the best wine you can for Gordon. But I just found you had more time. You go out surfing, go mountain biking, switch off. But now you've got not only got to look after Gordon's wine, East Valley, you've also got your own stuff and your own brand. So it's like non-stop now. It's full on.
So it's become a different beast.
It's become a different
beast.
Yeah,
the sales and marketing as well as the winemaking and the vineyard.
Everything. Yeah. Right. Yes. It's really exciting. But you just don't have the time to do other things.
How do you then go about balancing it? Do Do you like block out a particular amount of time to do the sales marketing and see the customers?
Well, a while ago, Christmas time, we had an awesome, took on a lady, Helen. She was great, and she was working on the vineyard, and that was going to be great. She had a car accident, so she's been out of action, but she's going to come back. So hopefully if she comes back wintertime, does some pruning, so with her help, because you've got to get someone who you can trust into the vineyard, and she was great. So if she can come back and make a full recovery, that'd be awesome.
That gives you then someone to then delegate some of the work to.
She can then look after the little team, and she can look after the team instead of me having to be out there the whole time, and instead of me doing all the work. Yeah, she can jump on and get a little team happening and look after the vineyard.
And how much does weather play a part?
Well, the big thing is soil. Soil's the big thing. The terroir, the soil, weather's big, but the main thing is soil, getting the soil right, looking after the soil. We are like sustainable. We do minimum weed spraying. I did one weed spray this year. We do sustainable wine skins. So, your intervention is minimum. You're just doing what you need to do. Obviously, powdery mildew in Hawke's Bay has been a problem the last couple of years. I had no powdery mildew here at all this year. Last year, we had a little bit here and there. So there was like, okay, we've got to do a hell of a lot more sulfur spraying. So this year, it was sulfur spraying every 8 days.
Okay.
Like last year, I'd go 3 weeks. But then we got a bit of powdery mildew. It's like, all right, this year, I'm not messing about. I'm spraying every 8 days for sulfur, which is an organic compound, but it's still a lot of spraying, a lot of tractor, a lot of diesel.
But usually you would avoid that unless you absolutely must.
Normally, exactly right. Yeah, but you have to do it because we had the powdery mildew last year, and you got to.
How does that differ from some of the other wineries? Do they just run on a routine of spraying regardless, or
I don't know?
Like how does that differ?
I'm not sure. Don't know how it's. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, good question. Should find out. Now that we've got Swins, we're doing some benchmarking. So now I can log onto my Swins account and I can check out what other guys are doing. Yeah. And we are actually right in the middle. We're doing. I was spraying pretty much every 8 days, and that was right in the middle of what most people in Hawke's Bay were doing. But obviously, there's going to be outliers, and only half the people actually submitted what they were doing in season. So in season, 50% of people wrote down what they were doing, and I am right in the middle. So you could say perhaps everyone's, or at least half people are doing 8 day sprays for sulfur.
And if that gets reduced down, how does that then impact the wine or the taste for the consumer? Is it a health thing, or is it a flavor profile thing, or is it good for the environment, or a bit of everything?
Well, with sulfur spraying, you can't sulfur spray anymore because it could you've got withholding periods. So you got like 35 days before you harvest. So it shouldn't impact at all because you've got your pre-harvest interval.
Okay.
The rain will wash it off. Sulfur. Yeah.
So mid-February now. What happens between now and?
Well, now
March, April?
I've been through and I've done my bunch thinning. I'm going to have to go through and do another bunch thin just for any of the bunches that haven't varieties up in time. I'll do a second bunch thin. We'll take out second set because Pinot Gris is a classic variety for throwing second set, which is a green berries up on top of the canopy. Take all them out. Trimming, mowing, bird scaring, get out the shotgun, shoot some birds. Yeah, pretty much just maintaining the flow of the vineyard life, making sure everything's in balance.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's good work.
How much sleep do you get every night?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 hours.
No, really?
No, I sleep about 10 hours.
10?
Yeah. I go to bed about 7 o'clock.
As soon as it's night here?
No, I go to bed about 10 o'clock. And we get a good sleep. Get up early, scare the birds. The birds we got big bird pressure here. We got a lot of birds here. We've got blackbirds, thrushes, starlings, miners, sparrows, wax eyes. Yeah, so I've got to be out there early. I get the motorbike out. I've got the gas cannons going. Well, not yet, but I'll have them going next couple of weeks. I've got because you want to try and integrate everything slowly, because birds kind of get used to anything that's, as soon as anything's been there for like a week, they won't be scared of it anymore. So I'm putting up the little hawks here and there, and yeah.
So there's a bit of a theatre going on out here for the birds.
Yep.
In the next few weeks.
For sure. Yep.
And if the birds are smart, they should head to the city.
Yeah. Yeah, they should get the hell out of here. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
So what's your top pick of your wines? Like if someone hasn't tried your Petane Station, where's a good place to start?
Well, the Pinot Gris, you got to start the Pinot Gris. It's a beautiful Pinot Gris. That's a good place to start. Once you do that, you might as well get over to the Gewürz, which is...
That's my favourite.
Yeah, I think it's my favourite. Actually, the Viognier is my favourite. Yeah, 2014 Viognier is amazing. I've just bottled the 15. Really happy with the 15. I think it's going to be great. Just needs a little more time in the bottle just to mellow out a bit. But yeah, I think the Viognier has been a bit of a revelation. Yeah, we've been really impressed with the Viognier. Ant McKenzie was so impressed with it, he actually took a bottle down to Marlborough, and George from Villamere got bottled to George.
Oh, Sir George Fiston.
Sir George, and he was like, Dan, where the hell has this been growing? And then it's like, it's, Philip.
For someone like him, he would have tried most wine.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, this is really good. So that was pretty cool. It's nice to hear those sort of stories.
Well, he's been around some time, so
yeah.
that's a great stamp of approval.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Mm.
Good. Well, thanks very much for your time, Phil. This has been a very informative chat on wine in Estelle and Petane Station.
Yeah.
Now you can get back to your surfing.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Surf video watching. Thanks,
cool.
Phil.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, remember to subscribe for free on iTunes. Simply search for The Ryan Marketing Show in the iTunes Store.